Well, hey guys, good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. Welcome. Whether you're here with me live on October 19th at 1:30 p.m. or 1:30 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., it doesn't really matter. Thank you so much for being with me. Really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And Saturday means we're starting a brand new master topic. Well, I'll tell you what the master topic is in just a moment, but I do want to invite you at this time to go ahead, yes, and grab yourself that delicious beverage that is your favorite one of choice from the fridge or somewhere hot, or maybe get yourself a nice healthy snack like some fruit or nuts or prunes or dates, etc. Or an unhealthy snack like maybe chocolate or candy or some other type of sweet. And hurry on back to the show so we can get started. So, welcome everyone to our podcast. Welcome to the Inspirations for Your Life podcast. I am Mr. John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I am thrilled to have you join us as we embark on an enlightening journey to uncover the secrets of effective study habits. Today, we're going to dive deep into the essential techniques that can transform your learning experience and help you unlock your full potential. So, today, we're actually going to go through, as you know, the hierarchy of what the week is going to be, right? We're going to go through that hierarchy. We're not actually going to do the whole show of the points. We're just going to go through what the hierarchy is, and we'll be covering starting tomorrow. So, in the episode for this week, we'll be exploring 14 key study habits, roughly about two a day, and they'll be designed to elevate your productivity and overall well being, whether you're a student, professional, or simply someone eager to learn. Your strategies will empower you to study more effectively and achieve your goals and promises that you've set out for yourself. Now, a lot of people say, I've gone through school. I'm not going to learn anymore. Now I'm going back. Welcome, Coco. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks for joining us. I really do appreciate you popping in. And so, it's important that we understand that if we're not learning, okay, then we're not growing. And if we're not growing, we're either stagnant or we're going backwards, right? So, what we're going to be going through this entire week, and I'll go through that in just a minute, it's important that we embrace this commitment to ourselves to be all that we can be. Now, there's a lot in life that can trip us up. So, again, I'm just going to go through really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, what these things are because I'm not going to get into them today. That's actually tomorrow's show where we start talking about that. The first show, I just talk about, what's going to go on for this week, all the different things. And you might say, gee, why did I pick study habits? Did you know that most people in our world don't know how to study properly? Did you know that? Most people in our world don't know how to study properly. And so that's pretty sad. And you might say, well, John, everyone knows how to study. Not really. There is a fundamental gap, ladies and gentlemen. Too often, even advanced and older students don't know how to study effectively when they should, right? There's a lot that we'll talk about that's going to affect that. But I think the most important thing is that it comes down to a mindset. I'm all about belief, believe me, achieve.com. Hey guys, hurry back with that drink and those snacks. Come on, we've already started the show. So I think it's important that when we think about, expanding our life and we think about, growing and becoming a better version of ourselves, the most important thing is that we do everything with integrity. And that when we learn something, we will become a little bit better than we were before. Just a little bit better. Not 100% better, but just a little bit better. And I think a lot of times people get flustered because they're trying to get from, let's say, this tiny glass that's here, and they're trying to fill it all the way up, which is quite a bit, right? But if they just fill it little bits at a time, it's a lot easier to digest. That is one of the most important things that I have to tell you. One of the most important things. And so a mindset is important for knowing about learning better. Okay. It's very important. And you might be saying, hey, John, what's going to happen when I can't learn? Is it going to frustrate you? I think what's going to happen is we get frustration that sets in, but then when the frustration sets in, it's like we realize that we're inadequate, but we're not. This just happens because the mindset, you know, says we can't do it. And we know we can. We know that we can. Absolutely, we can. But the world sometimes causes challenges to get in our path. And so when we learn the right way to absorb information and retain it, I'm not talking about studying so that you can cram for a test. And then at the end of the test, you don't know the information. That is the stupidest way to study. I think I did it one time and I'm like, this is just a waste of our time. I'm studying to get a grade. Like, why? Like, who cares? I need to do a lot more than that. I need to be better to myself. I'm gypping myself. I need to value not just the information, but myself and realize the only person I'm cheating is myself. So, why do I want to study to get a great grade and cram it? Why don't I want to absorb the knowledge? So, we're going to talk about all this during the week. So, this is really important. So, one thing we're going to talk about is setting clear promises. Some people call them goals, but you might know from the past that I don't call it goals because if we don't make a goal, well, we'll just try again, right? With a promise, it means something to us. So, we're going to talk about, setting clear promises, what that means, um, creating a study schedule. We're talking about how and when and what's the right way to do that. We're talking about the importance of our environment, how that can help us and how that can hinder us, ladies and gentlemen. We're also going to talk about active learning techniques. We're going to learn about regular breaks that we can take. We're going to learn about the importance, ladies and gentlemen, of staying organized. You'd be surprised that a lot of people do not stay organized, and that, already gets them to fail. We'll talk about practicing and building time management skills. We will incorporate variety into different study methods, and we'll use a mix of different things. And we'll talk about the different types of vehicles you can use to study. We'll talk about the importance of staying healthy when you study, right? And then we're also going to talk about reflecting and adjusting. A lot of people have good intentions to do something, but then because of someone or something in the environment, they get tripped up and they suddenly believe they can't. And we know from a very good person and inventor of our time, Henry Ford, if you believe you can't, you're right. If you believe you can, you're also right. So our belief creates our reality, just like my hat here, believemeachieve.com. Be sure to go to that, ladies and gentlemen, after the show to check out all my amazing, inspiring, and wonderful creations that will, in fact, improve your life. So, reflecting and adjusting is something you don't just do once. You have to keep doing it over and over again. It's kind of like a rinse and repeat, right? You don't brush your teeth once and then rinse and then never do it again. You keep brushing, you rinse the next time, and sometimes you rinse multiple times, right? So, you brush, rinse, and repeat. You brush, rinse, and repeat. You do that at morning, after breakfast, your meal. You do that at lunchtime. If you're not home, maybe you'll just take floss with you. Some people don't do anything. And at night, you're going to brush, floss, and repeat again, right? So the importance, ladies and gentlemen, of staying positive. This is not hard, but again, it's about embracing a true mindset. A true mindset, a mindset that means this is what we are about right now. And if we're about this, then we must be able to get better. So our mind actually paints what our reality is. Okay. Our mind paints reality. Our mind paints reality. And so when I say it paints reality, it literally actually has you in a spot where, you know, you're already at the spot, even though you're not there yet. So your mind believes you're there and you will eventually go there in the body if the mind is putting enough thought on it, right? Nightingale Conant said this many, many times. We become what we think about most often. Another wise person said, we change our words, we change our thoughts, we change our thoughts, we change our mind, we change our mind. We will, in fact, improve the quality of our life now, won't we? And that is what we want today. So I think sometimes people get wrapped in a tight, bound way that they can't grow. They get restricted. So they can't go forward. They can't go backward. They just stay stagnant. And eventually, ladies and gentlemen, they do go backward when they stop feeling restrained. They only can go backward and regress. And that's not a good thing. Not a good thing. So studying is something that I love doing because I feel that when we study, it actually enriches us and it helps us to be able to make other people's lives better. You all know why I live, to become a better version of myself and help others become better versions of themselves. That's my reason. So we have to learn how to minimize distractions, right? Again, we're not getting into what these are today. I'm just giving you the menu of what we're going to be talking about this week. Utilizing our resources, whether that's people, places, things, right? How do we utilize resources? And what's also important? You might have all these great ideas one day, but suddenly the ideas just kind of are not flowing anymore because you're not consistent. Okay? You're not consistent. And being consistent is very, very important. Being very, very important. And when I see being very important, I mean it because this is something that a lot of people don't quite understand. They don't understand the fact that consistency is the key to success. If you do one little thing consistently every single day of your life to help get toward your promise, you're going to get there. You're taking small steps, ladies and gentlemen, but those small steps are actually going to lead you to your promised land, to your victory. And so when we have people in the world that basically don't want to learn either because they're lazy or because maybe they weren't taught the right ways, they just feel that the system has to just work for them. But if you don't educate yourself, the system's not going to work. The system doesn't work for people that can't read. And I know when I was in high school, I was not a very big fan of reading, I'll be honest with you. And then I realized that in order to get into liking reading, I first have to start reading what I enjoy. The more I did that, the more I understood that, wait a minute, now I can read other stuff. But I first had to get comfortable with reading the stuff I enjoy. Then I read the stuff I wasn't so crazy about. But then you know what happened? As I was reading the stuff that I didn't think I was going to enjoy, I actually started enjoying because now I was truly embracing reading. And I was getting curious about questions like, it could be about biology, it could be some topic in science about global warming, it could be anything. And that topic just plagued me to want to read on more. Of course, when it came to tech and engineering and science, I loved reading. But I wasn't a big buff when it came to, let's say, geography or non-Western culture or social studies. I just wasn't really that into it. But if I went back to those classes today that, I had a challenge with in high school, and if you didn't read just a little bit, well, you were going to flunk the class because our teacher, I still remember to this day, his name was Mr. O'Malley. We called him Professor O'Malley because he actually was a professor. I think he was at a college as well. And so if people weren't reading, you know what he did? He's like, okay, pop quiz. Like, what? Well, I know you guys didn't do the reading, so we're having a pop quiz. So that happened a couple times. Once that happened once or twice, we all did the reading. Because when he took the pop quiz out, all right, and we're all panicked because of the pop quiz, right? And top students like myself, we were failing. Like, there was just no way we were passing. And we're all just like, oh my gosh, like our hearts were palpitating. He says, all right. He says, it's the holidays. Consider this a gift. Take your paper and rip it up. Now go home and study. And you better know the information tomorrow. Because if I find out that you didn't read, we're going to have another pop quiz. And this one will not be ripped up. So everyone went home. They read. And it was like he would occasionally pull pop quizzes when he felt people weren't doing the reading. Now, not one or two people. I'm talking about the majority of the class. So you might have to learn about different theories about non-Western culture, and I'm just trying to remember some of the theories, like some of the things we studied we called it NWC, or non-Western culture studies. And the thing you might be trying to understand is, what's it about? Well, it's politically engaged, post-disciplinary academic fields that explore dynamics of the contemporary culture and social and historical foundations. I remember when we talked about the Azaracs in non-Western culture. The thing is, when we were talking about non-Western culture, and we were talking about how these people lived, right? In the beginning, to me, it wasn't interesting because all it was reading. But when I started to embrace the fact that we're learning about somebody else's life, about their ethics, it was only later on, after I had graduated, that I started to appreciate it. I'm still not going to go back and read a lot about non-Western culture, or geography, or history. But there are a lot of things in history that really fascinate me. So what I've learned is that if you're not good at reading, read what you like. All right. Get proficient with what you like. Enjoy that. And then start reading a little bit of the things you don't like. Before you know it, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, because you're just going to love reading so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic, amazing afternoon. I hope you'll like, love, and support the channel. Comment below, tag your friends, colleagues, and associates, share this out with everyone you know on social media. Be sure to go to BelieveMeAchieve.com to show me some love on all my great channels. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new subtopic, but you already know what the master topic is, ladies and gentlemen. That is developing effective study habits. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. If I don't catch you on one of my other shows real soon. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, studying is for any age. You're never too old or too young to learn how to study. Let's make that a discipline in our life, and success will follow, everyone. Have yourself a great rest of your day and a great rest